Hey, folks, welcome to Talking Crit Live. No longer live from North Texas. We've been back now for 2 episodes.
I'm still in North Texas. I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you don't.
You can never leave.
Oh,
You have an
know.
ankle monitor for Texas.
That's
let you out.
That's not for the whole state, just for the county. That's just a county.
Stage right, but I guess my left is my once a week work spouse, Baird Mike Battalato.
Hello.
And beneath us, only because it's the safest spot for us.
Yeah, I don't want to be underneath this man.
No. Is none other than the one, the only, Skeeter Green.
You say it like you didn't enjoy it, but I'm sure you still talk about it.
My wife watches this. I have to act like it's just.
Okay. I get it.
It was awful. It was horrible.
Show me on the bed, Mike, where the Skeeter touched you.
It was terrible for me too.
Horrible.
God help us. God help us. Folks, if you can't tell, we have a long relationship with Skeeter. He's a very good, dear friend. I figure I should publicly say this too. When we bring people onto the show, it isn't a fucking interview. Am I saying that word too early?
We don't do interviews. We have to keep saying that now.
We don't do interviews. We invite on friends.
Mm-hmm.
We invite on people we want to hang out with and talk with, and then you get to interact with them.
Sure.
So if you ask the question,
it's your show. You ask the questions.
Yes.
Next caller.
Don't be upset that we're not going. So, Skeeter, I've got a checklist of shit to ask you. Could you tell me what your BMI and your blood pressure are?
Tell us your life story. Where did you go to school? We're interested. No, we don't care about that.
Nobody gives a fuck about any of this information.
No, we don't care any about it.
No, they don't.
That's why we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and for the handful of jackasses and retrogrades, and I would use some other words, but they're offensive now, so I don't want to use. No, Skeeter doesn't pay to come on the show. Nobody has ever paid Mike and I to come on the show, ever.
Well, you remember Kelsey paid us because she's not doing very well, and she had to pay us to come on and promote her. Oh wait, hold on, never mind. No. I'm sorry.
That was somebody else.
Now we would have paid her to come on the show.
Yes, we would. We wouldn't pay Skeeter.
No, God, no. That would be the worst money spent on entertainment ever.
Be awful.
Yes. But I just want to make it very clear that there is no pay to show up shit going on. We don't do that. We are obnoxious on our own, and I can't see anybody going, "Hey, can I pay you to come on your show?" They enjoy it.
It just seems weird.
We don't have enough people to matter.
And if you guys start taking cash to get on this show,
yeah,
I will be happy to pay for it and then mercilessly give you shit about it constantly. Nice. You fucking sellouts.
Thank you.
Nice.
And that's the kind of truth that I want from our guests. Okay, our friend. Listen. I know I can be an asshole. I know that I might pick on somebody's friends out there. Like, why is Tenkar being such a dickwad about so and so? Probably because they're an asshole. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, and Mike lives in Texas.
But he's gonna be an asshole. I'm a New Yorker, right? Just being an asshole comes naturally to me. And
Texas people they're nice. People are nice. We're very laid back and sweet.
Yeah, and we demonetized all our live streams pretty quickly on, so we don't have to worry
very
about
quickly. Yeah. When they saw Skeeter's head pop into the screen, we became demonetized.
Oh, it was already like, oh shit.
It was gone.
Yeah,
like the algorithm just went.
I think limited will be the best that you're going to get today.
Because that's from his
nickel on the dollar.
That's back on his GDZ days. He still has that from his GDZ days. They demonetized it.
What you guys are talking about?
Like he doesn't know what GDZ is now. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, before we dive into
I started that. God damn it!
Yes, you allowed See, we weren't going to bring it up. Well, we probably would have brought it up anyway.
Oh, we'd have brought it up. Yeah. No question.
Yeah. So what's up with that shit, yo?
Well, I think Zach has a screenshot
oh my God.
of the messages back and forth, and I think it was me saying, Zach, God damn it. And then it just became God damn it, Zach. And it's so wonderful. I started a cult. I got God damn it,
we
Zach
have
t-shirts.
Yeah. I have the t-shirt to prove it.
And then people who didn't even know Zach, girls came up to me saying they wanted a goddamn it Zach shirt for their boyfriend who
shirt,
were
Mr.
not
Skeeter?
gamers.
Yeah.
It just works so well. Come on, God damn it, Zach.
It's so wonderful that some of our fairly religious friends one year decided to make, I think, gosh darn it, Zach shirts or something like that. And it was wonderful.
So
my cult is spreading.
Okay, so where is the so speaking of my favorite show, where's your show? Where's this show that used to pop on that was delightful, that featured you and Zach, two of my favorite people, that no longer, I haven't seen it in this year. So explain this to me.
Hey, gentleman Zach Glazer is a very busy man. He cannot be tasked with even showing up to a show with his name on it.
Gosh.
That was always questionable. Every time it was within 5 minutes of us going live that he would show up.
Why don't you just change it to GD Jen and have Jen Glazer on? It would be a better show, number one. And she would be on time, number two. Number two, she would actually be on time. Number three, you get better ratings. I mean, I can't even just tell you the advantages to have doing something like that. I think you just need to switch Glazers.
Yeah.
The problem is you chose the wrong Glazer. You chose bad.
I know. That is yet another example of my low wisdom and poor life choices that I have made.
So unlike others who will often say, "I'll make charisma my dump stat," you went with wisdom, and I can understand.
Oh my God! I prove that all the time. I couldn't sink that one any lower without just becoming a baby again.
All right, so we got you on here because we're gonna talk about your Kickstarter, but first thing, and we're just gonna talk to you anyway. But the first thing is, how was North Texas? Because that obligatory North Texas question that happens weeks after North Texas.
So this year at North Texas, I came out for almost a full week. I showed up the Tuesday before, and didn't leave until the Monday after.
Wow.
Because I was hanging out with my partner in the Independent Publishers Union, Planet X Games, Levi Combs, where we went and had some hot chicken. And then as we're driving back to the hotel, he said, "You want to see something weird?" And I instantly got mad that he had to ask.
It always scares me when a fellow gamer says something like that.
Do you know who I am? You had to throw that at him.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I know Levi pretty well. And I feel like he knows me pretty well. And to ask if I want to see something weird, for sure.
But now remember, he's considering it weird. So you already know it's beyond the normal, like, it's weird.
Yeah, if you read Occurrence at the Crater, this is the guy who wants to know.
It got so much worse. Because about every 5 minutes as we're driving around, he would look over and he'd go, "Well, maybe it's not really weird. It's not scary or anything. It's just, I think it's just weird." And I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing to me, man?" What? So we end up driving around and we get to Baylor Hospital. And that place is creepy looking as it is. And so we get out and we're trying to go in, and he says, "Okay, it's on the first floor." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what's happening." And we can't get into Baylor Hospital anywhere. It's like they only have one door that's open, and we're on the completely
people like you and
polar opposite side. Absolutely. So we finally get around, we get in the hospital, and we're looking around. And I see this sign, and we're in like the hand surgery ward. And I'm like, well, that's fucking weird. And we go and turn this corner, and in this great big alcove is all these bronzed hands of famous people. And they had presidents and astronauts and musicians and shit, but they had Andre the Giant's hands.
Oh wow.
Oh my
Those
God.
things don't look human. They look like he would be an ogre. That's what an ogre would look like. It's just so enormous. And yeah, so that was my weird shit for Tuesday.
That's pretty damn weird too.
The convention had a lot to live up to, with that being my first day on the trip to Texas. But as always, it was a wonderful show. I told Mike and Gary that we didn't see any problems as people just enjoying the conventions. I don't know if there were. Doesn't matter. There were no big blow-ups, no snafus for us at all in the IPU specifically. It ran like they were professionals, which terrified the shit out of us.
Oh shit!
There were inconveniences, but there were no actual problems. I was actually surprised too. There was a couple of things that happened that we worried about for 5 minutes, and then they solved themselves. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, well, that's done. I mean, there was a couple of things that looked big for a second, and one of them Gary freaked out about, and I was like, Gary, take it down. It's gonna work out. It'll be fine. And then it did. 10 minutes later, it was fine. Okay, we're back to normal. And so that's kind of how it was. Anything that would happen just seemed to solve itself in about 5-10 minutes. Or the people at the convention, since everybody who's been there several years is kind of like, everybody's dialed in, right? Or everybody knows what's going on. They solved the problem for us. Like, okay, well, there was this happening, but we did this. Oh, okay, well.
Except for the fire alarms. The fire alarms were a problem.
Because they had to check it that weekend? I mean, come on. That's the weekend they have to check the fire alarms.
Right. Come on. Yeah, no.
But even then, that wasn't, it was a little bit.
One day.
It was one day for about an hour. So, it wasn't horrible, but it was very annoying. It would have thrown me off my game if I was running a game. I'd been a little thrown off, probably.
Yeah.
But no, everything, no out of control thermostats like we had last year. No overt theft.
Okay,
catalytic converters.
I will tell you now. I think I told you or Gary, but it cracks me up to no end that everybody is complaining so much about the thermostats, because on Wednesdays when I would come in to the hotel, I would run around to all of the boardrooms and push them all the way down. I did that for like 3 years in a row.
You may be banned. Thank you for confessing. I mean,
it was too hot in there for me. I'm from the Northwest, man. We don't have heat. We're almost the Arctic Circle. But
Skeeter, perhaps not guest in 2024. Okay,
I find great humor in having gotten away with that for so long. You could just turn the shit back up.
No problems this year.
I only did it once.
I know. Well, everybody this year, for some reason, because it wasn't its usual 120 degrees, everybody was like, man, it's really chilly in here. But that's for a purpose. I mean, they have to turn it down because when you get a bunch of warm, sweaty bodies in a room, that's going to raise the heat temperature. And if you don't have it down that low, you never can. So if you don't already have it cold, it's never going to get cool enough if it starts getting hot. You're playing again catch up, and you'll never catch up. So,
and I was really impressed with the people moving. Like there never were big groups kind of in the way everywhere. People were flowing to their games, and you could see kind of a constant motion of people up and down the halls. But yeah, it was, you could tell there were a lot of people gaming in different spots, and then they were getting there. So well done.
I think so, and we talked about this the last couple weeks or last week, Eric and I, but we had our highest attendance ever, and it didn't seem like it was that bad. I mean, we had over 500 people, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, enough to where we can keep rolling the way we're rolling and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, next year it's just going to be so crowded. It wasn't crowded. It wasn't too bad at all. It was it wasn't even as crowded as your average Gary Con or something along those lines. I mean, it was it was just
not at all.
A bad example. Actually, that's a bad example, but because they're crowded. I mean, but I'm just saying your actual regular convention of 500 to 1,000 people, it was fine. There was no issues on the crowding part. I'd forgotten. So the catalytic converter thefts were weird. I mean, we couldn't have done anything to prevent that. Obviously, that wasn't really on us. That was the hotel. But other than that, that was the one big snafu. And the barbecue truck not showing up was unfortunate, but it wasn't a game or deal breaker. I mean,
that's life.
Food trucks will cancel on you.
Right.
Threxus.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So he was in a game. The last time I'm running Crypt of the Science Wizard Part 2. And I kind of told everybody, let's do this up. And we had some people that were new. I was running it in the Mutant Crawl Classics rule set. There were some people who were new to the system, some people who were very familiar. And they went through, faced some of the obstacles, started a very low-key chain reaction that they weren't aware was going to come back to be a nightmare. They go into this big room, they fight the main big bad guy, kill him. But don't just kill him, because somebody reduced everybody in the room to 1 hit point or 0. And then the angry plant decided to detonate themselves and use radiation generation and exploded. The explosion set off the 12 cargo ship sized batteries.
Sure.
They turned the entire desert surface to a sheet of glass and probably pushed their planetary body out of its normal orbit. Absolutely perfect way to end a campaign in the biggest explosion possible.
Nice.
Boom.
It was very well done.
Nice.
I was impressed. Now I can close the book on that chapter.
It's gone. It's over. No more in that world. That world's gone.
Nope, world's not gone. My convention running of that is gone.
Oh, okay.
So it's just saying it happened in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when is that coming out? When is part 2?
Oh, you shut up. That's I keep saying it's 6 months away, but next year.
Slacker.
Which is weirdly 6 months away.
That's
pretty much
7. Who's counting?
I can't count. I was told there would be no math.
Listen, they lie.
Oh, are we gonna have a math lesson?
No.
Not on any recent events.
Oh, we might have it later on. We might actually have the zero sum math lesson.
Okay.
Oh,
we're gonna do some maths.
Yes, but it'll be that new math. It wasn't new math new when we were kids, and then they killed new math.
I was never good at math because of new math, because they switched it in 3rd grade, and okay, that was all what you learned the first 3 grades. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing something else over here. Wait, hold on.
How does math become new?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Is it like a different flavor? How
experiment?
Is it new?
Don't experiment on kids. Please.
There was a different way to do your division when you, and I know with us they started introducing it, and I was just like, you know what, fuck you.
New math was sets. Was all about sets. So it was ridiculous, and so they did it for about 3 years, and decided, this is not this isn't good. The kids really aren't learning anything. Well, let's just sacrifice those 3 generations of kids or those 3 grades, and we'll just move on to the regular stuff. And then I'm sitting here like, whoa, hold on.
It's an improvement. Trust me.
I did not learn how to do my multiplication to tables until I was in 5th grade because of that. Because I didn't understand what's going on. So
they have TikTok videos of people drawing shapes when they're doing math, and it's supposed to tell you actual numbers.
Sure.
I don't even understand what the fuck they're doing.
You know what math does? You know what? I got this in my pocket now. I don't need no fucking math.
I don't. Yeah,
beep boop, beep boop. There's your answer. Boom.
I don't know if I love you more as a caveman or a giant bestial gorilla.
Oh God!
But it's wonderful.
By the way, Bob G makes a good point. ShireCon badge went live, and he's I better get my badge. Actually,
I wish I could go, guy. I'm looking at next year. I'm looking at next year. Okay, wife will be retired. I'll be sitting around doing nothing as usual. No, but I mean, no, seriously, I'm looking at next year because this looks like a blast, man.
So
absolute blast.
Tom moved the venue. It's now in a different town with a much larger location. And we're going to have a day and a half of gaming, and there's actually like a decent amount of food within walking distance. So I hadn't gotten my hotel, and I was very like, ugh. I mean, the one I used last year was right around the block, but it was expensive as hell. So I'm looking, and Rach goes, did you ever try Airbnb? Have we ever done Airbnb? I'm like, no, we never did Airbnb. What do I know about Airbnb? Try Airbnb. Hey, I got a place right in town. Oh, okay. I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, it's like $150 with fees, like $150 a night. It has 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, your own bathroom. By the way, a lot of these places in Connecticut are old. You got to share a bathroom with your neighbor.
Anytime somebody mentions an Airbnb, I'm reminded of the movie Barbarian. And I have to say, nah.
Now you know that was a movie. That doesn't.
Listen, is Airbnb
that was based on a true story from my nightmares.
Oh well, this Airbnb had 4.9 out of 5 stars with like 100 ratings. So I was like, all right, I can handle that.
But Eric, that's how they get you in there. They make the fake.
I don't know.
Take the fake ratings, and then they get in there, and then there's a basement of the house. You go down, there's a tunnel, and bad things happen. So yeah,
no, it's a two family home. You're upstairs, but even better.
It's nice to know you. Nice to know you.
So the people who own the murder dungeon are there.
They're there.
The murder dungeon.
Oh my goodness!
I'm upstairs.
That sounds terrible.
That's okay.
That sounds like some shit I would write in a book.
I got my HR 218 certification. I can carry.
It's gonna be a shootout. I love it.
No, I'm just throwing it out there that the option will be.
The woman in Barbarian got shot too, and it didn't matter.
Hey, spoilers. Hey, I think that I would do that if I went there because from what Tom said, that's probably the best way to really get a good place is to get an Airbnb or just a bed and breakfast. Period. I think the wife would enjoy that too.
But listen, if this is a good place, I will reserve it for next year. And if you are coming, Mike, and it's got the 3 beds, you might have an option.
I want to. It's a 3-day drive. 3-day drive. I can do it.
There you go.
Or now hear me out.
They
have these metal things that they launch from one city to another.
Are we talking North Korean rockets?
Yes, possibly.
Oh, okay.
I like to see the world. I want to travel and see the country as I drive.
Have you not met people? They're awful.
No, I'm not talking to people. I just want to see trees and stuff. I don't want to talk to humans.
That'd be cool.
I don't care about the human beings.
You gonna talk to trees and stuff? All right.
Yeah, I really talk.
He's a tree hugger.
You're a tree hugger. God damn it! You're a tree hugger. You hug the trees. So
because they're so beautiful.
And I listen. We've pussyfooted around this the whole time. We've been on for 25 minutes. We haven't even discussed.
Hey, look at that.
By the way, if we were getting paid, you're not getting your money's worth, okay? Because we've been on for 25 minutes, and only now are we. Oh, actually, let me.
We had to warm up the crowd.
Do you want to be on the bottom or do you want to be on the side? What do you?
Hey.
My personal preference is the side, actually.
Oh, all right. I'll put you back on the side.
I think that's how I jumped into your bed, Eric.
Yes, from the side.
From the side.
Had to think quickly, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I." And if I do happen to kill Skeeter, there are more repercussions to that one than just.
It would be a fun story.
So, how did Skeeter die?
The con I killed Skeeter at.
New York
cop.
Yeah, it's like, can I plead the fifth? I was laughing so hard when it happened. I don't quite know how it happened.
I was laughing as I killed Skeeter. I was laughing so hard as I killed Skeeter.
I was still laughing, but then I was crying.
The bad thing would be when Jen shows up to the scene and pulls out her little notepad and says, "Yep, that was number 4. He picked that as his way to go."
Wow.
Who would have thought that would be the way? That's what Peter did.
Oh, man.
So
yeah, this is my Kickstarter.
This is my Kickstarter. It's mine and my very own. There are none like it. Sorry, I'm doing my bad impression of a Vietnam movie, but there you go.
All right. Oh wait, this is why we had Skeeter on the show. Oh, cool.
Okay. No, we had Skeeter on the show because he's fun.
Okay.
And he's going to talk a lot of shit later about shit that we talked about. But in the meantime, in the time of mean, we have this.
Yeah, explain Underland.
And it's part 1. Yes. So, folks, I don't want to hear none of this shit of, oh man, it's like Skeeter's like 4th zine in the series, and I didn't get in with number 1. Fuck you. This is number 1. Yep. I mean, it's the number 1 in the series. I don't know if it's like the number 1, but it is a number 1.
It's certainly a number 1. Yeah, so this is Underland. This is primarily, obviously, an underground focused book. And what I've been trying to explain this book as, it's a setting collector. The main idea, just like in Alice in Wonderland, with all the crazy shit that's happening from all over everywhere and draws on a bunch of different influences, you can get anywhere in Underland. Everywhere is connected. And it doesn't just have to be underground. One of my plans is you go down some basement steps, and if you go directly under the steps in that shadowy darkness, you can keep going through the wall. It's like it instantly teleports you, or is a portal or something, to another place. And it can be anywhere. You can start with the standard Tolkien medieval adventuring style, and you go down under this bar in the cellar and go under the steps, and then you keep walking through this tunnel and you end up in the city of Greyhawk, or the Forgotten Realms, anywhere in there. So all of this plethora of gaming material all of us have collected over the years of playing, you don't just have to be limited to one setting. You can mix all of this stuff. It's like in the original Greyhawk series when they did Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. It was sci-fi in the fantasy peanut butter. And people still to this day try to emulate how awesome that was. And at this point, it's nostalgic awesome, because if you actually look at it, it makes no sense. But that's the cool part of it. That was extremely innovative at a time before so many of us gamers got jaded. And I think,
who's jaded?
Man, if you go to a gaming convention and you play in a game and the game is mediocre at best, you feel like you missed out on something, don't you?
All right. Well, yeah.
Because we have such nerd riches available to us now because we've slogged through the crap D&D for so many years. You know, like I was figuring out I have been playing D&D for about 45 years. And I didn't stop in school cuz I didn't go to college. I didn't stop like when I got a family. I actually, that's when I got my first professional check from writing, was slightly older than my kids. So in that experience, a lot of those GMs have mixed and matched and grabbed things. But as some of the newer players who came in with 5th edition that have like 6 months to a year under their belt running games, they're not necessarily going to think that's even a thing of mixing stuff. You know, can you put the Tomb of Annihilation book in Spelljammer? Well, yeah, I mean, like any of us could do that. Any of us three could do that super easy. But somebody who has never thought of that before may not think that's how you play the game. So this book is kind of a toolkit. It's got an adventure in it, self-contained, so it gets people underground, and then you start exploring the underground and some of the potential weird stuff that's happening. Like there's a cave in and you can see through this dirt embankment, and there's giant pillars like from some offshoot of Moria or something like that. And then there's another section where you're crawling around in the tunnel and you start to go up, and when you break through the ground, you're in a desert, and you were in a farmland when you started. So it just makes things a little bit odd and shakes it up and helps experienced players get some surprise. Like they don't have to do the same thing that has been done 10,000 times. I mean, it's not 12 bandits in a broken down moat house, which I swear to God, Bill Webb can make that work every time he uses it, and he uses it all the time. And it's always great. I don't know. He's a magician. But yeah, just so you know, you add a little bit of spice to the gaming, and it doesn't have a ton of backstory, but it has a functional little village, and it's just designed to be, you know, Lego snapped into your ongoing campaign.
Nice. Who did you cover?
Sounds very Dreamsland.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know,
the cover is Dean Spencer.
You can get anywhere.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's very cool. No, Dreamland by Lovecraft. You could go anywhere by you dream. You go to the Dreamlands, but from the Dreamlands you could get anywhere else. I don't know. It sounds like your concept's very cool, very very similar to that. So
I appreciate that. I've gotten some really good feedback. Gentleman Zach Glazer was very happy when I let him read through it. He gave me great compliments, and Rocky Gardner, who did the layout on this from Silver Boulay, he said that it was some of the tightest writing I've done. So I feel good about it.
Okay. That's some very nice artwork. And you could add on the Crypt of the Science Wizard. Look at that, folks. So
yeah.
You missed it.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't mean you missed it.
yeah, got some good add-on stuff for the pledges. One thing I want to make very clear to everyone in the pledge levels. A physical book costs $12. The pledge says shipping is included. The way shipping is included is it adds the shipping after. So
I can't wait to see those
18.
negative Nellies. They're going to scream at you. You didn't say that,
Well,
Skeeter.
it's-
You lied.
Well, you can't check it out. You can't check out without paying it.
I did not realize it was an unclear statement, so that was on me. So
you're going to deserve all the beatings you're going to get as this goes on.
Yeah. And I did have one pledge that was not it was not charging shipping at all. So somebody pointed that out very kindly, and I had to create a new pledge level and then lock that one and try to get everybody else to get into the other level, or the other pledge. So yeah, there's been some stub toes on this one, but it is going better than I thought it might.
You're supposed to be getting better at this.
I had the last 2 Kickstarters I had were kind of knee kicks to the chin.
Oh.
Yeah, I had some the Mork Borg one that I did was good for me to test my toes in. The last Kickstarter I did for Valley Out of Time 5 and 6, nothing, that was cursed.
Really?
The first series of books I got back from the printer had ink spots all over them, and they flat out would not reprint them.
What?
They would not reprint them because they said I did not get any kind of finished covers. I just had the covers the way they are, which is what I have done on every book previous to this one. But there were splotches in the books, and they were just loose put in cardboard boxes. So they had all the scratches and everything because they're very ink heavy. Yeah, it was an absolute nightmare.
It sounds like they were one and done then, right?
Yes.
He was being very diplomatic there, folks. Yes.
And then when I was getting ready to ship everything out, when I actually got the books in, I had all of my addresses in an Excel sheet, and I sorted it, and the names didn't sort to the addresses on about 30 to 40% of them.
My God.
So this is where I learned the valuable lesson that actually went into Zach and I's small publishing seminar. When you ship something media mail, that postage is one way. So if somebody says not at this address because it's the right address but the wrong name, then the book gets sent back to my local post office, where if I want it back, I have to pay the postage that's due, and then I have to pay postage again to send it out to the right person. So
it saves you money except when it doesn't save you money.
Right.
Okay. That sounds like the Postal Service, if you ask me.
This is School of Hard Knocks. Good Lord.
So, yeah, this Kickstarter has done much better than I had envisioned already, and we still have 5 days to go. So please spread the word. Tell somebody. Tell your neighbor. Tell your neighbor's kid's neighbor. Whatever. Which is probably the other kid.
On the bottom of the screen, on that scroll, there's a shortened link where you can go. It'll take you right there. It'll take you to Underland. Wow. You don't got to go and look for the Kickstarter link. That's probably way too long. I put it up before. This is a nice, simple.
See, this all the money I did actually have to pay Eric to get on this show went into that scroll down at the bottom.
Good job.
That's where all the money went. And you know what? That was nickels well spent.
Yeah. Better than having to pay for media mail returned. I mean, much better.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get like a Diet Pepsi at the next North Texas. And so she's like, and she's like, "Hey, I opened this up, but then I realized I don't drink Diet. You want it?" And I'll be like, "Skeeter, thank you for paying me back for the scroll." Oh, by the way, I probably have to put another scroll up later because another company that makes much more money than Skeeter but pays nothing to Tenkar asked me to pimp their Kickstarter.
What's he?
No.
What's he? Oh, no, what's he?
Something that we that all of us, well, two of us prior, one of us now are associated with.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
This is an OSE Kickstarter, right? Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, these are my okay. This is my cheap buddies.
Yeah,
pressuring you into promoting OSE stuff, which, you know, I mean, I'm all for that. So.
I'm all for it too. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy OSE because I can use it with anything. Listen, I don't really bat an eye when it comes to old school material. If it's for Swords and Wizardry, Labyrinth Lord, OSE, Osric, it all works well together. You know, but I can even take the GCC and MCC stuff and run it in Swords and Wizardry or OSE without.
It's like if somebody had a book that compiled all this stuff from everywhere and put it underground. That would be a genius idea.
It's crazy talk, is what that is.
Listen, Steve, I love you, man, but we can't use genius and Skeeter in the same sentence because it violates my contract. Okay. Wow. Now the contract I have is with myself, but
it's okay. It's not even with anybody, Skeeter.
I think if genius is part of it, then we can sell that. Like it could be hostile genius. It could be genius lunatic, which almost sounds Latin. I mean, I can work with you.
See, Skeeter, somebody wants to know, is goddammit Zach still a thing?
It will, as long as you remember it, it will always be a thing.
As long as the YouTube videos are still up to watch, it'll always be a thing.
All right, folks, here, I will say this. Mike and I will do our damnedest to grab both these individuals, Skeeter and Zach, for special.
Well, I like that already.
For special Talking Crit, and it will be the Talking Crit goddammit Zach GDZ.
The return.
Special. We'll do a special sometime this summer when, you know, the news is slow and these two
really slow, like a real slow
match up, and maybe
like a turtle.
Maybe they will reboot their love for their own series.
Well, hey,
slow that
if you can get a time slot with Gentleman Zach Laser, then I will be there at any point.
It'll be so slow that even Rob Conley turned us down that week, Eric.
That's how slow man!
Wow!
Even Rob's got too much to do.
On to auction off his bag.
What?
Oh, you don't know about the Rob Conley bag?
I
have
am
it right here.
Fascinated.
By the way, Foogly sent me a explanation of Receipts of the Rusted Lord. It's based on a. Okay, so
all right. So hold on, Mike.
We had a friend of ours.
What the hell are you talking about?
There's a bag with Rob Conley's face on it, and it's Receipts of the Russet Lord. So he's a potato in this. So he's a potato. See, and he's sitting on a throne that has potato peelers. So it's really inside, very, very inside.
It's very yes, and the reason why it's the Russet Lord was like we were play testing one of Rob's upcoming projects, and we had to deal with the Russet Lord, and we were a bunch of fucking assholes in my group because we are all
This is my surprised face.
Yeah, I know. Listen, the group is like Joe the lawyer, Tim Shorts, Matt Jackson, Greg Christopher, myself, occasionally a few others drop in.
Asshole.
And Rob Conley.
Yeah, okay.
So,
there you go.
So Rob is like the nicest person in our group. And Rob is a great GM, very detailed. But when he said Russet Lord, somebody's like, Mr. Potato? And Rob's like, what are you talking about? Russet potatoes. Because Rob's like, well, russet is a color. Like, it's a variation of red. We're like, all right, yeah, we'll deal with the Potato Lord. He's like, it's not a potato.
God. You guys hijacked his adventure.
How can we not? So, and this is why, like, when we did the 2 live streams of Shadow Dark, and I swear to God, I don't panic over much, all right? But I was like, holy shit, this group, this horrible group of people is going to take the... I go, we are going to be canceled, and we weren't. It ran very well, but will I say we were on our best behavior? No, we certainly weren't. But even at that, we pushed the system. We pushed the rule set. And you had a bunch of people who've designed their own systems all going, well, I would do it this way. Oh, this isn't covered by the rules. Let's have a vote. Game designers, how would you decide this? It was fun. You know, it's a great way to kick the tires. But yeah,
well, I like when you guys did the Shadow Dark one. That was because I didn't know much about it, and seeing you guys run the game, or seeing Matt ran that game, right? I think Matt did.
Matt ran one, yes. I was supposed to run the game. Matt did.
It was very. That's when I first started getting interested in Shadow Dark, and said, "This is actually a pretty cool little system."
Wait a minute, Mike. Are you admitting here on live video that you watch actual play videos?
Okay, these idiots, yes, because they're idiots.
And I would so it has to be your particular flavor.
It has to be idiots. Yes.
Okay.
See now, listen. There's actual play that isn't really actual play. It's scripted. All right. Then
yes, I'm not watching.
I know.
No,
be still my beating heart. I'm giving myself chest compression.
Oh, I've got the vapors.
I can't believe they admitted to that. That there's actually vapors.
I don't watch Critical Role. No, we don't. No, that stuff.
Hey, Critical Role was actually really good. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
But it was scripted, right? I mean, okay, it's scripted.
Sure. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna blow your mind. They have these things called movies.
What?
that are in a great big room.
I don't believe this.
Yeah, and some of them are terrible.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, if you want to actually see how a system plays out, you've got to go for an actual play with a bunch of assholes that will actually play it and each other's humps, make the stupid listen, if you're playing in a real group with real group dynamics, you have the jokes made at the table. You have the with us, it was the ongoing ladder jokes with Matt Jackson, who literally nearly died, was hospitalized for weeks, falling from a fucking ladder. We give him grief a year and a half later over this shit, and people actually put ladders into adventures just so Matt can experience a ladder. This is what real gaming groups do, because you're a bunch of friends busting on other friends. It's not the same when they're a bunch of actors or personalities. You know, you want that dynamic.
I will say that anyone who has any interest in watching a fantastic Call of Cthulhu actual play, the Bookshops of Arkham, I think it's called, it is awesome. If you like Call of Cthulhu at all,
okay,
watch that. I do that. I also do not get paid for that endorsement. That is my own personal business, and Mike and Tenkar Inc. may not share my opinions.
Well,
was that all the? See, I feel like we're going to talk about legal stuff later.
Oh well,
on,
yeah.
So I gotta start getting my lawyer persona on.
Are we talking about like corporate shell games and stuff?
I don't know, but I like that magic thing with the shells and the game.
But don't
and
look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
The game with those little walnuts and the ball that they used to play in Manhattan, and
See,
it
throws me off when Eric starts talking about walnuts and balls. I just get very confused and flustered.
Has a different meaning in the streets of Manhattan, where the tourists are, than it does in other locations.
Oh no, I saw them.
It's like, hey, that makes it easy money, and like they'll get that. Their friend always wins. Like, oh yeah, I've never seen this before. Give me that nut. Oh, well, that was easy. And it's like, oh shit. Where's the ball? There ain't no ball because he already cupped it in his hand. There you go.
This direct from a New York City cop.
Oh, I used to always enjoy walking by the craps games because it's just like you walk up, go, who's winning? They're like, oh no, we're just playing for funsies.
All this money is just money on the table. Is just
like, on the table. It's on the floor. But
I mean the floor. Sorry.
Yeah.
Obviously on the floor.
Obviously on the floor. I'm trying to catch. I'm trying not to fall too far behind in the comments. We could not film with the group; they would arrest us. Yeah.
Let Jen handle that. She's in the chat, so she can.
Jen, I would give you access, but I don't know how to take care of the chat. You know, like she can highlight them all and put them up. Is new TSR 6.0 in the wings? No, in the wings is OSR games. Oh, ooh. By the way, I don't know. Will that be a OSR Games is being registered as a trademark? Does that mean that down the line, if you want to have OSR in your title, if you use OSR and refer to it, you're gonna have to pay some monies? I don't know. You got a license.
Why doesn't he just change the name to JSR and be done with it, and just go fuck off back to the East Coast?
Come on, man. He is on the East Coast. You know, he's North Carolina via Pennsylvania, Pennsatucky.
That's the South.
Pennsatucky is the South. It's in the North, but it's in the South. They don't realize where they are.
Not that there's anything wrong with being in the South. Look, we love Mike.
Oh, hey. This is a South. I'm really in the Southwest. So deep South is South in east of me.
Half of my family's from Tennessee.
That's not
mid to east.
Mid South?
Mid to east Tennessee. That's hill people. Trust me.
That's country.
Yeah, it is.
Listen, when I was a kid up in the Poconos, spending my summers up there, you'd hear the knock on the door. Can Eric come out and play? I was like, oh shit, that's me. I'm Eric. Let's go.
Eerie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my parents are getting a living room suite. Living room suite. What the hell's a living room? Is that a suit you wear to the living room? Oh, living room suite. Okay. Took me a while as a New Yorker to translate the vernacular.
That is awesome.
It isn't as you don't hear that as much now. This is going back to like the 70s. You know, now because of mass media and the homogenation of local radio and TV stations, where everybody has the same voice that has no regional inflections whatsoever. A lot of that is falling out. So, jeez, somebody let Ty Beard in.
Oh boy. Okay, straighten up, you guys.
Be very. You got a lawyer in the room.
Now there's an attorney that would probably handle a bankruptcy correctly. Mr. Ty Beard, unlike somebody else that we were talking about earlier. So.
Oh my God!
So no name. Great. I'm not going to use any names. I'm just
no. So folks, we're going to throw this one out here. Lesson 101: when you file for bankruptcy, as a corporation, you have to apparently file your incorporation paperwork, which shows that you exist as a corporation. It's part of that checklist that every bankruptcy lawyer should probably
one
have.
of those things should happen much further ahead of the other one.
Yep. I mean, here, well, what else can we question about? There's a current bankruptcy going on.
So here's a question.
Yes,
Eric Tenkar, and this is going to draw on your legal acumen.
Oh, gee! All right, hold on. I don't have a hat to put on.
Do you need to put a hat on? Do you need to
I was
put
gonna
like
put
a
a hat on.
bathrobe or something on?
Oh
wait, Mike can slide you $50. Isn't that what happens with?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Hold on a second. Hold on.
I was thinking judges.
I'm gonna put on my Gremlins. Hold on.
He disappeared. He keeps disappearing. This is creepy.
I got a Gremlins blanket, and it doesn't show the Gremlins part. But if you
can't see a damn thing.
God damn it, Zach! You're not even here. God damn it!
Oh my God!
All right, so yeah, okay. I'm gonna mess my hair up. All right.
Propeller beanie.
I don't have a propeller beanie. Sorry there, Mr. Beard. All right, go. Give me. Hit me with your best shot.
What?
You had it. You gonna. I'm all ready for the legal question, and he's like, "How do I leave an idiot in suspense?"
Oh, I totally forgot what I was going to say with your time.
That long setup. That setup was too long.
Jesus.
It was such a long setup.
No, now I remember. Since new TSR has not been incorporated this entire time.
Well, no, it was, but they never filed the paperwork in bankruptcy court. It was. So that it's like I have paper. What's this paper? Oh, I don't need that. No, they didn't file.
I thought they were so stupid they never incorporated at all.
No. Apparently, there are so many incorporations that you can't incorporate enough.
It's like legal herpes. There's just incorporations all over the place.
It spreads like a fungus. You get that foot fungus or that crotch rot, and you keep on going. I got more. I got another incorporation.
Hey man, LLCs I got this itching problem. Can you check it out?
Here's an LLC cream. All you need is a bankruptcy to get rid of one of them.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
When this is all, when we get to a stopping point someplace in the next few months, we need to have Ty on to go over some legal paperwork we may or may not have seen posted on the internet.
And, no, we saw it post because I put out the Dropbox link.
I know. I was just trying to be legally, vague.
No, it's public. It's public record.
I know. Public.
Okay.
It is.
Dude,
it is.
I am not a math wizard, and I could figure that legalese out real quick.
All right, so
nothing up here, but everything down here.
I was reached out to on Facebook by
where were you touched, Eric?
Reached out.
I was touched inside my head. It was amazing.
You heard it here, folks.
I was reached out to by a lawyer that does a lot of bankruptcies, and they read over the paperwork that was submitted in the WotC case. And WTF was pretty much the first things that came out of their typing hands. And one of the questions was, which is a rhetorical question, but how does a company who owes, I don't know, $390,000 in debt have zero assets, but rent 2 offices in 2 separate states at $1,000 per office, or $2,000 per month, and yet not even have a chair, a single chair between the 2 offices?
Wait. Can you guys hear that in your headsets? It sounds like bullshit. I'm not sure, but
come on.
Yeah. Do you guys think that sounds like bullshit?
Come on, man. Well, here, I'm gonna show something because folks should know this.
Is this your OnlyFans?
Yeah, it's my OnlyFans. It's also known as this sale at TSR Hobbies has been announced. Now remember, they're an American game company, so I guess that's a rarity.
So wait a minute. I feel like I need to dissect this. Is this an American game publishing company or an American game publishing company or an American game publishing company?
All the above, and all right, Ty. So, what happened with the bankruptcy?
Yes, please try to explain this.
Okay, so what was he wants to know what was the purpose of the bankruptcy? The purpose of the bankruptcy apparently is to, and I'm gonna spitball here, is to take roughly $380,000 in debt, the majority of which is loaned to TSR from either Justin Lanasa himself or one of his other corporations.
Is that the Grits Wrestling Network?
I think it was Hardwire Tattoo, and to consolidate that, get whatever to the debt. But the result of this is an automatic stay in ongoing court cases. So the Wizards of the Coast case has a 1 year stay unless Wizards decides to appeal it. But it's going to continue, is my understanding, because although TSR's case against the Wizards is pretty much kaput because there is a $22,000, my memory, debt to the TSR law firm they were using to fight Wizards of the Coast. So I'm guessing they aren't going to come back. Wizards of the Coast has a countersuit, and the countersuit.
I have a question, Eric.
Justin himself and the Dungeon Hobby Shop. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, young man in the bottom shelf.
What was TSR's lawsuit against Wizards of the Coast for?
Apparently, all right. So
what?
Here.
It doesn't have to make sense because it's not going to make sense.
All right. So Wizards of the Coast.
No, I have a point.
I know.
I'll get there.
I got to go through the steps here. Wizards of the Coast issued a C&D, said stop using our trademarks. And TSR was like, So what happened next was they took TSR to Trademark and Patent Office court. I guess they have their own court. And when that happened, TSR did a lawsuit initially in North Carolina, but that wouldn't play out because Wizards of the Coast is over in Seattle. So then they had to refile it in federal court out in Seattle. And I think the purpose is to have Wizards of the Coast prove their ownership. In other words, the theory is that changing from TSR to Wizards of the Coast, Wizards has no records of any prior properties and therefore can't prove that they own any of this stuff. I honestly, my head.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
But TSR is claiming that they own the copyright to that.
Right. No, correct.
Yeah, well, the TSR is making a claim that they own the trade. All right, so here's where it gets a little weird, and I am not a copyright nor trademark attorney. So TSR is a trademark for the letters TSR. But there are also graphical representations of the trademark. The wizard head, the moon.
So this owning this intellectual property would have value, correct?
In theory, because also they snagged the trademark for Star Frontiers, claiming it was no longer in use, even though it is POD on drive-through. But in any case,
and that also would have some measurable amount of value.
Yes.
So bear with me. because I am using every ounce of my lawyerness right now.
Uh-oh.
They have items of value. So when they made that bankruptcy report that shows 0 assets, they gave a fraudulent listing of documentation to the court.
You have to remember, and this is an important thing to remember, is that the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum is a separate entity. It's a separate LLC. So the museum and its contents are likely not part of TSR. Again, however, TSR was selling 1,000 box copies.
Oh yeah, but I'm not even talking about that stuff. I mean the IP of the trade dress that they are suing.
They list the trade dress in the paperwork, but as a value of 0 because the value is unknown. So they do list all the trademarks that, by the way, are in dispute. So I don't know.
This is one of the many reasons why I'm not a lawyer.
Really? Just one?
Yeah.
Of many. Okay.
One of many.
Yeah. The museum, the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum, is a separate LLC.
Right.
So
now that doesn't mean that he won't at some point loot it and sell everything off. I mean, as a matter of fact, that's my suspicion. He will do that eventually. He's going to sell everything in the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. But no, that doesn't come under the bankruptcy, correct, Eric? That's a different entity.
That's to now Ty. It was filed under Lucky Chapter 7. My understanding, and again, I am not a lawyer, but having spoken to lawyers,
we know a few.
There's another WTF, which was, why would you file Chapter 7? Because all you're doing is opening yourself up to basically more discovery than you've probably were going to be required to give up in the Watsy case or any other case that you were under. I don't know. I know there's a trustee that's been assigned. I know for a fact, because I've been contacted or read online, that a number of people have reached out to the trustee to give their beliefs as to where there may be, I don't know, some assets, because again, the value of the assets, physical assets as declared in the paperwork and signed, and this is official, is 0 assets for 2 offices in 2 different states. There's not a chair between those 2 offices. So,
well, it's minimal. I mean, he probably doesn't even have a rug or anything. It's just, it's just like
again,
it's a Zen garden.
What was asked of me, it's like, like you can have a virtual office. Your company does not need to have a physical office. There are LLCs that are literally run out of somebody's bedroom on their home computer. And I go, that's fine. You can do so. You don't need to have physical offices in 2 locations with apparently nothing in them, costing you $24,000 a year when your best year you barely made $18,000 in revenue. Revenue, not profit. Revenue.
TSR doesn't have in-house writers. They don't
really have any product. They don't have product.
They don't need offices for anything.
Skeeter,
the original TSR probably didn't have 2 offices.
You created more in the last month. They've created their entire existence upon planet Earth. So yes, no.
I don't know if that was a compliment. That kind of stung. I think you may have just low-key given me shit, man.
No.
I don't think that was okay.
I just realized how that sounded.
All right, so we have some pretty big.
I just realized how bad that sounded.
So, Ty has a pretty good point here. Anything transferred to Lanasa or a related company within a year of the bankruptcy filing is a preference and can be recovered. So, that means essentially anything that I'm in theory, if all 1,000 boxes of, as declared, dungeon crawls were part of TSR, and they were at TSR for the convention. There were pictures of them stacked up behind tables at the what do you call it? The what was that place in Lake Geneva? The horticultural hall.
Yeah,
the horticultural hall. These boxes were there. If they were transferred to another entity or to was it the Spice Guy?
McArt. Nick
for purposes of the bank. What
the hell are you guys talking about?
Skeeter, where have you been? Okay,
he's too smart to be spending time with this.
All right. So Dungeon Crawl, the board game, apparently does great sales at street vending locations and conventions and spice sales.
And this is a game they did a Kickstarter on that
no Kickstarter.
Spices and Dungeons.
It was pre-orders.
Oh, pre-order that never actually
pre-orders that took over 12 months to ship.
Did anybody else hear that voice?
That strange voice coming from behind me. It's the voice behind the curtain. You heard nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing.
The boss is here?
God's real?
I don't know what to do now. All things are possible.
It's all good. It's all good. So it's going to play out very interestingly over the next couple of months, because usually bankruptcies take 3 to 6 months to resolve themselves, although the stay is for a year in this case, and it's an automatic stay unless it's not automatic. But enough of that. But the thing with WotC is their side, their countersuit, I am quite sure will proceed because and they're not stupid. They added Justin Lanasa and Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum because
they're going to whip out the Pinkertons on that dude.
Yeah, they knew where the assets were. The Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum is likely the owner of the Dungeon Hobby Shop, although I don't know for sure. And Lanasa is the owner of all the properties that Lanasa owns. So, did Wizards foresee this as a possibility? Quite likely. I mean,
no, they're too busy fucking up the announcement.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry. The announcements.
See, we're talking Wizards of law. When I say Wizards, I'm talking their law firm, which may actually be a functional entity. It seems to be, as opposed to Wizards of the Coast, which is like our brains on life support. How can we fuck something else up? Let's find out. So
yeah, they can drop the case against Lanasa. That would be a fuck up.
Yeah, well, that would be, but I don't see that happening. I again, no inside information. I am not. Anybody who's watched this channel and thinks that I am on WotC's payroll, again, I am going to point out they are not getting good return on their money if that's the case. Okay, but WotC, I believe, is going to be out for blood and to make sure that nobody pulls shit like this again. And I think Don Samora shared earlier today on Facebook a screenshot of a text conversation between him and Justin, where Justin was predicting that he'd get $100 million payout from this.
From who?
From WotC.
From WotC, they're just going to give him $100,000 to get the
no 100
to get $100 million.
I mean, I'm sorry, $100 million.
One, you got to do it. You got to do it in your best, like Austin Powers, Dr. Evil.
$100 million.
I mean, I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but Watsy does not have $100 million in petty cash to give Justin for his shit case.
Oh, but come on, everybody.
Yeah.
He's got too many shit pieces.
So.
The voice of reason.
Yeah, it's okay. Hurry. Sometimes I have to quiet the voice of reason. It's like, but this whole situation is, I personally, look at it and go, Wizards of the Coast was very smart to make sure in their countersuit they had more than one target other than just TSR. Now, it could be. This was remarked on, I think, last week or the week before, that the social media accounts on Facebook were no longer TSR Hobbies. It was OSR Games, the group or the page, the commercial page changed. That so it looks like this was known. The filing actually happened. The initial filing was the beginning of May. So if you look at the timeline, there was stuff that was being done to get ready for, we're just going to kill off TSR. So it's going to be interesting if OSR Games becomes a point of contention. You can't use OSR in your game. You can't refer to that. You can't use it in your conversation. Because remember, there was a time when Facebook groups were being threatened if they had any of the old TSR logo graphics shown on their Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
They were told to make Justin either an admin of the group, put him in charge, remove it, or be sued.
Nice.
Always a great way to endear yourself to a larger community. That's why we have people like Skeeter.
I am a peach.
You are a Skeeter. You're a peach. You're a wonderful peach. You're like a Georgia peach, but you come from Seattle via Tennessee. You said.
Yeah, my dad was from Tennessee. My mom was from here. She's the daughter of a gangster from Italia.
Yeah. Listen, that knows this. That's all overrated.
Yeah.
And there weren't any bagmen for the PDs going into stores and just taking the paper bag, because that was that.
It's just delivery.
Yeah, it's the journal.
Yeah.
My great grandmother, she passed when I was like 8, but when I was like 6, she was German, heavy German accent. I could barely understand her English. But during Prohibition, they ran a speakeasy right down the block from where I live. And at the time, they still lived upstairs from what was then a pharmacy, and they still had the dumbwaiter. And when the revenuers would come, this bar would call the next bar in line and say, "Hey, the revenuers are out," and they pass all the alcohol back upstairs to the apartment, and then pass down tea and coffee. So when the revenuers came, it was just tea and coffee. But I remembered she gave me advice that struck with me and made absolutely no fucking sense until I became a cop. And I went to internal affairs. And then it was like, holy shit, I understand this all now. And she was like, you can always trust the police officer because he'll take the bag. But the firemen, they come in and they leave with your silverware in their boots. And I'm like,
wow.
6-year-old going, what the hell does that mean?
Wow.
And then I get to internal affairs, and I'm a historian, so I'm digging into like old stuff, and I'm reading stuff about bagmen, and I'm like, well, I heard something about this, but you were actually fine. Yeah, they went around on a weekly basis, collected their bag, and the cop didn't keep it, by the way. He gave it to his commanding officer. So I mean, no, the force wasn't eating well on that. It was one guy was eating well per command, who was probably passing the money up to Tammany Hall or whatever else back then. But yeah, holy shit.
I don't think I want to accuse the firemen of being thieves. When my shit's on fire, I want somebody to show
Oh
up.
no.
I mean, jeez.
But listen, there's a lot of rivalry usually between PD and FD. The slang in the NYPD off for the fire department was land pirates.
That's fantastic. Oh my God.
So
my granddaughter, her mom works for the fire department, so I'm gonna have to tell her about land pirates. That's wonderful.
And it was just, and listen, I was involved in like heavy incidents when I was like a rookie in the South Bronx on a foot post, and your best allies were tow trucks who, if they, because they were always on the radio looking to, like, you know, find an accident and get there first. And so if they heard, they would hear us going over our radio calling for an 85 assistance. They drive up with, like, you know, big huge wrenches in their hands, hop out of the they wouldn't have to do anything. Just the idea that there's two big guys jumping out ready to brawl, fire department and phone company. And phone company, because they were, and I can say this, my father worked for the phone company for years. He worked inside, but if you asked about the people who used to work outside, he goes, they were almost all universally drunks and drinking. So they would see a cop in trouble, and they were just like, "Hey, you fight!" And they throw themselves in.
Oh my gosh!
I know at least one of these guys has a gun, so let's fuck them up.
It's just like, go into it.
What?
Yeah. So, and by the way, I'm sure there's going to be an update on a certain Discord. Tenkar was telling cop stories.
Oh no!
He did it again.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
How dare you? You're gonna kill the climate with your cop stories.
Well, I feel like I could offset that with some criminal stories.
Oh, all right. Well, there we go. That's always a great way
for real life.
You know?
Oh no! Yeah, let's just not do that. I changed my mind.
You have a tease. Son.
I know. I'm a salty tart.
Salty tart. But you're ours. Oh, never mind. If I go there, it's going to go real bad.
And that was not an entry in the old Streetwalkers table in the Dungeon Master's Guide. There was an article on one of these bullshit online gamer news things where they did like the top 12 batshit tables from the DMG, and the Streetwalker table wasn't until 9th.
Oh my god!
It was all just a bunch of random dumb shit. Oh, I don't think it was actually a scale of what was good or bad.
I have a question I want to ask you, Skeeter.
Hit me.
So what system are you looking at in the future? Because you've done Swords and Wizardry, you've done DCC, you did MCC and CCC, right? Both.
Yep. Did them both.
What are you looking at in the future? What systems do you want to work with?
Well, the project going forward right now is I have Underland essentially done. That's going to be for Swords and Wizardry, DCC, and MCC. And until I get another one of those prepped to go, I'm going to move into writing some Call of Cthulhu scenarios.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Why did I forget? How can I forget Call of Cthulhu? You've done Call of Cthulhu before. You did the Gen Con module in 2020.
The Dread from Geneva Lake.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was 2 years ago. And I am in talks with Mr. Gygax himself about doing a Dread from Geneva Lake 2 for next year's Scary Con.
Is this one going to have Satine and Jameson in it, or is it going to
I will slap the shit out of you the next time I see you.
Now, but you're saying the Gygax. I was wondering if he was talking Gary, because that would be a pretty good.
I think he might be talking. No. I don't think he's talking Ernie, so I think he's talking Luke.
I don't talk to Ernie anymore.
No, or Alex. I don't think Alex is interested in Lake Geneva.
Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. This is a good time. So I don't have to do a special episode on this, but I can. One of my great sources, great investigator, Tom Veralt, Tabletop Tap Room, made a number of phone calls to Lake Geneva and the Public Works Department trying to find out about that park bench that was dedicated to Gary.
Yes, the park bench.
And it looks exactly the same as the park bench that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the official word is they replaced the bench. So it's a replacement bench.
Okay. So it is a new bench.
Installed new. And the old bench was put into storage to replace whatever bench next needs to get repaired. They'll just because the bench wasn't in bad shape.
So if it's one of those,
is a new bench.
So if it's one of those true or false, it's somewhere in the middle. It's not. It is a new bench. It is a new bench.
It is a new bench.
Okay, so it is a new bench.
So now, does that fulfill the requirements of the nonprofit to have a memorial in the park?
Yes,
I mean,
it does.
I will say that. Look, for all the shit we give Paul, something got done. I mean, something happened. Now, is that enough for me to want to give another cent ever to the memorial fund? No, because I won't. But I will say that something got done. I mean, even if it's a bench with just a bench with his name on it and says, "How's it going?" You know,
I mean, none of it has been handled the way any of us who actually give a shit about Gary's memory would want it handled. But a thing got done.
Right.
It is not the morally correct thing for all of us gamers who feel like entitled to this memory that it should be a certain way, but it is, it's something. And
but it's more that I mean, you said it should be a certain way. I think at the point that the funds were given and the goodness of gamers' hearts, and I know for a fact Doug donated $1,000 towards the fund. Is that I think everybody thought that something would be done. Maybe not the statue that Gail was planning on, or whatever. But I think the general expectation of the last decade was that something is going to be done with this.
Oh yeah,
much money. And I think the disappointment was that nothing was done with it. Zero, nada, nothing. I mean, just absolutely nothing, except that. We saw the fund dwindle a bit over the years, as it was not even an investment fund. It was just we're going to stick this money in a hole in the wall, and
Yeah, and I have to imagine that a plaque on a bench is not the singular asset the memorial fund has at this point. They did not dump all of that money into a piece of plastic. So,
and here's the thing, to go a step further. And Skeeter, I don't know if you've heard this. I've heard this rumor from a number of individuals that were at GaryCon. Mike and I were not. So
I was at GaryCon.
Okay, were you approached about the upcoming Kickstarter, GoFundMe, crowdfunding for, I believe it's this July, to fund bricks for the memorial? For the brick, by buying a brick and getting your name on it.
I heard something about it.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any details.
So that's apparently just to catch people up. Years ago, the plan was that they were going to sell bricks for the memorial. And by the way, this is where jokes get bad. All right, the plan was we're going to sell bricks to all these gamers, and these bricks are going to fund for the maintenance of the statue going on forever. And I made two bad jokes that night back when I had Chatwing. So
wait a minute, I'm hearing it again. It sounds like bullshit. It's like a high-pitched whistling.
Yeah, hold on. So I had this plugin called Chatwing, which did text hangouts for us on Thursday nights. It was really fun until I got like Discord, make it do voice, and I made 2 jokes. One of which I am proud of because it is fucking funny. All right, and this joke
You're gonna have to
was.
tell me after we go off the air.
Oh, you can fill in the blanks on this one. I said that Gail Gygax would trademark the word 4 letters, sounds like a baseball term.
Oh, rough one.
To like just kind of put a ball in play. If she could. I like that one. I
wish we lived in London for this broadcast.
Yes, I know.
Because you can say it all the time.
Right.
It's great.
So, okay. The other joke I made was about the bricks, and it's like, oh yeah, people are gonna buy bricks. They'll be rubber bricks. They'll burn the bricks. It was a stupid joke. Let's flash forward to the Kotaku article. Do you remember that one? When they interviewed Gail and tried to slam Gary Khan, and
they tried to make her very sympathetic, like, oh,
yeah,
this poor widow.
Yeah. So and at the same time, Cecilia tried to park a bus on me. It was remembered by Gail that I called her that word in question. Not that I joked that she would trademark it, which again I think is a great joke, and that I threatened to throw burning bricks at her. So,
what kind of fucking superpowers do you have where you can set bricks on fire?
Yeah, with his mind, it was all.
I swear to God, I'm a mob.
He's an X-Man. He's an X-Man. He doesn't know. Yeah, he didn't
okay.
Oh, by the way, Rocky wants to know if you're going to do anything for Shadow Dark.
Oh, I would have to know more about Shadow Dark, as I do not know.
Yeah,
see, I looked at the Kickstarter when it was like 30 seconds in, and it was just a normal Kickstarter, and then after that, it blew up and went crazy, and I didn't back it.
I would love to write for Shadow Dark, except I don't know 5e and I don't like 5e. Now, I guess the alternative would just be to write an adventure and to tell somebody, look, I want to make this adventure Shadow Darky. Can you do a Shadow Dark on this adventure? Because I don't
do you know how this works at all? Are you asleep at the wheel at Frog God?
No, I don't know
what you're talking about. What are you doing, man?
It's
Frog God won't do Shadow Dark though. I keep pitching Shadow Dark, and they keep saying, "Why don't you do a Shadow Dark?" I'm like, Look, I'm an idea man. I don't know. I throw out the ideas, and you guys catch the ideas, and you run with them, and you make a touchdown. You spike the ball.
Okay. So is somebody actually getting paid? Are you gonna? Do we have to pay Mike for his genius ideas?
Yeah. Hey, look, Tom. Shadow Dark is really great, and I say this as an OD&D DM for the last 40 years. Shadow Dark is grab the quick start.
Very
like
cool.
I think it's 3 levels. Maybe it's 5. It's a very complete version of the rules. You'll see, it is not a heavy system at all.
I'm gonna take another tangent, and I'm gonna regret this, but I'm gonna actually compliment Tom Tullis, the bald superhero, because I finally got to play in one of his OD&D games, and it was magnificent. I had a great time.
Weird.
I know. God, I think I'm having another heart attack. No,
not another.
That's probably not funny.
Where did he?
By the way, Steve, just so you know, sometimes.
Oh, he touched me right in the front bump.
That's awesome.
Sometime this summer.
We're talking about the same Tom Tullis. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometime this summer, Rich and I will probably have to grab you on a Saturday night when we do Gamers Health because.
Yes.
Shadow Dark is a similar mechanic to.
That would be fantastic.
Okay, that's good to know, Theodis. That it's. See, I got the impression from watching the game. So I watched a game that Kelsey ran for about an hour and a half, and I got the impression it was just like any other D&D game, really, except for a couple of 5e-isms that were in there. So I got the impression you could shadow. Yeah, you could Shadow Dark about any kind of game, and by Shadow Dark, I think it's going to be one of those things, kind of like you can make anything OSR. I think you can make anything Shadow Dark. You just got to take the basic precepts of Shadow Dark, which are light is essential, darkness is bad. I mean, stuff like that. And I think you'll be able to shadow dark up anything eventually.
Tom
Shadow
Color, butthole of the internet.
Shadow dark sounds like the extra cheese that makes every pizza better.
It could be.
It's one of those things for people who they like 5e a lot. They like the rules, so they just think it's maybe a little too. Maybe I'm just going to throw this out there, Skeeter. And if you've heard it different, let me know. I've heard you really can't die in 5e unless you just really, really try really, 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 really hard. And so for people who
I've killed people in 5e.
But it's not as lethal as earlier editions of the game. You will give me that, right? Correct? It's just
100%.
So it's for the people who would maybe who like 5e a lot, and they don't really want to play 1e or 2 or whatever. I mean, they like their 5e, but they want it to be just a little tougher and a little more lethal and scarier, and you could lose. You could actually possibly die, and so and I think that there's a lot of those people out there, as we found by the Kickstarter, how successful the Kickstarter. There's a lot of people that want to make their 5e a little deadlier and a little.
There's a number of things in 5e that are good game mechanics. The system itself, the actual crunch part of 5e, is as solid a game as anybody has played. Mm-hmm. It is the meat on the bones of 5e where people choke and don't like either the politics or the let's just make everything a gray amorphous being that has no context to anything in any way, shape, or form. That's your player character. Enjoy. Oh, by the way, you can't go out and do anything that harms another person because that would be wrong. You can't take anything that belongs to another person because that would be wrong. And let's make everybody safe but miserable, which doesn't sound like a toy or a game. But that's my opinion. And if that's what cancels me, so be it.
Well, I mean,
it's on borrowed time anyway.
Look, 5e is the most popular version of D&D ever published by sales, and so they're doing a lot right. And I'm not one of those people that say if you play it, there's something. I mean, look, if you want to play 5e, that's great. I don't particularly. I mean, I'm not particularly interested in it, but if I'm glad that it brings people to the hobby. But for some people, and it turned out a lot of people, they want a little more danger and scariness in their 5e, and I
would bet that at least 50% of the problem is the people who are running games where people are bored, running games of 5e where people are bored. Those players are the ones who leave and don't like 5e. Because you can have a good game master run a game of Yahtzee and you will be engaged and it will be fun and you'll get up and say, God damn, I didn't think that would be fun, but that was great. But if you have the best, most mathematically sound, perfect game systems and somebody has the personality of wet toilet paper, that game is going to suck and you're not going to want to play it again.
But should that be true of every version of the game? That's not just a 5e thing.
No, I agree.
There's so many people.
I agree.
Is it because there's so many people playing 5e that your percentage of shitty DMs is going to be bigger than, say, 1e, where somebody running 1e has probably been running it for, 30 years. They know what they're doing, right? They know their shit. If they're a bad DM at this point, nobody's playing their fucking game. But
what I think happened is, I mean, it didn't immediately hit. It had a good rollout, but it just kept its momentum for a long time, which it didn't seem like it had a drop off. And then they did some cross promotion with Magic for art and different kinds of things, and people kept getting renewed. People were coming in, and it hit. I don't know if it hit TikTok or whatever social media it hit, perfectly because you couldn't go anywhere without seeing something about 5e. And their branding, they talk about D&D being under monetized. Blow me. I've spent a ton of money with a little ampersand or a red D20 that shows a 20. I buy that shit all the time because when I was a kid and I wanted to play with toys, this shit didn't exist.
Sure.
I didn't want the TSR wood burning set. That's insanity that even exists.
Oh,
But
come on.
you know, there's I think the 5e hate. I've played in some great 5th edition games. I would not want to run it. That does not seem fun to me. But I am also getting burned out on the generally accepted Tolkien type fantasy dungeon crawling anyway. I'm moving to Call of Cthulhu. But that kind of gaming is what I need now.
You don't mean by setting, you just mean that type of gaming. Because I'm saying that, so my campaigns I'm not a big Tolkien Mer background type of guy. My races are different. So, but you mean just the concept of, here's, we're going to
wait a minute, Mike. Wait a minute, Mike. Don't you mean ancestries
or heritages?
Can't use the R word.
Yeah, use whatever the fuck I want in my game. I call them races all I want. I might even throw a gypsy in there.
Oh
no, won't do that.
No,
they don't.
Well,
but I'm just saying is that
honestly, the gypsies are the last people you want to piss off, man. That evil eye shit is fucking for real.
But those, I mean, so I understand that, and that's what's great about what's going on now. And Eric and I have talked about this on the show about how the implosion of WotC / Hasbro is not going to be bad for the hobby, because we grew up playing in a world where you had to learn all these different systems to play all these different games. And one week you're playing Car Wars, and the next week you're playing D&D, and the next week you're playing Villains and Vigilantes. There wasn't this one system that's come to dominate our hobby over the past, decade, right? 7, 8, 9, 10 years, where there's just this one system rules overall. It may have been a better world back then when you did have all these different systems. And I'm happy people are playing Call of Cthulhu now, and then are playing games like Mothership or anything like that. I like that. I don't think I just say this because I saw, and I can't remember who wrote it, a doom and gloom article about, oh no, we're going to have to go back to learning all these different systems now. I'm like, dude, come on, man. I'm not that smart, and I was able to do it. You can do that. Top secret.
You have to learn how to roll your dice and add numbers slightly differently.
I know, and I don't get that, because we grew up doing that, and
that's a fucking participation trophy kid who wrote that article,
or somebody born in 2000. But that's just what it is, and you get used to it, and it's better. I think it might have been a better world back then. I like the fact that you weren't using the same system, one size fits all. Skeeter, we've become soft and lazy since 2000 in terms of D&D, because we've been so used to, like, hey, we're just going to glom off the D&D style. That's the way to do it, man.
Just listening to you talk about my history, even by not specifically saying it was me, original D&D was the Gen X whole thing. Like you survived on your own. You got a key. If you ate, you got to eat. If you foraged for a place to sleep, you could do that. That's how the gaming was. Now it's 2 generations of, we don't want anybody to feel like they're not first place, even though they don't work at it.
Yeah.
Now you have gaming that is vanilla pudding, and not the good kind. It works.
Tell me something. So, okay, so you're closer to this than I am, Skeeter. So I have it. One of my favorite games all time is Call of Cthulhu, and I have run Master and Arthur, one of the best campaigns I ever ran. But I have not played Call of Cthulhu in, I don't know, 15, 20 years in a campaign. That is the lethal of all lethal we don't care about your feelings game. Has that changed to try to make the little happy, participation trophy people happier? Because how would you even begin to do that with Call of Cthulhu?
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's not even about the lethality. You very well could live, and that could be so much worse.
Yes.
And it goes into that kind of detail. It kind of infers that in certain scenarios. It doesn't even get that graphic. So actually, to your point, it's not really, it hasn't pulled back that I have noticed, because it was more making you think, how awful is your imagination, rather than just being explicit and saying, "Oh yeah, you're."
Well, so how can Chaosium and Call of Cthulhu do that, and why is WotC doing the opposite, or is that just because the different audiences? Because
the people who work at Chaosium, from the top down to the community content people and the people who just want to be there, love it so much. The authentic love of the game and interest is apparent across the board, and there has never been any kind of, I don't even know what the phrase would be, but everybody plays Call of Cthulhu. They play it in the United States. It's huge. It's bigger than D&D in Japan. They play it all through Middle East and North Africa that I actually know about. Europe is huge for it, and everybody participates. WotC, being the biggest company for 5e, is trying to publish social media people. Either there's somebody who's had a show, or there's somebody who has X amount of followers,
influencers,
or it's somebody who is trying to make being a game designer their full-time job. And
streamers, influencers, and YouTubers. Yeah, exactly.
God bless you if you can make it. Yeah, and that is probably why 5e has gotten so big, is this social media aspect. But it has also suffered because these people who are content creators are not game designers.
Yeah.
It's a different, it's a different rule set. Well, I can't go on YouTube and have a show, obviously, and get 50 million viewers, because goddamn it, Zach didn't get 50 million viewers.
Close, yeah, but nah, just not quite. Yeah.
But it's a different skill set, and their products have suffered from it.
So I don't know if we've had you on. When's the last time we had you on, Skeeter? Was it this year? Or it's been this year. Huh? So what is your, give us your unfiltered Skeeter predictions of what we're going to see for D&D's 50th anniversary from WotC? Are they going to change it up, or they're not going to change it up?
What do I think they're going to do, or what do I hope they're going to do?
Well, I don't care what you hope they're going to do, because I
what do you expect? What do you expect?
Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah.
I expect them to, I don't know when they're going to announce anything. It's not going to be on January 1st.
No.
I would be stunned if they did it for GaryCon. I think they're not going to acknowledge the 50th until Gen Con, which, who knows? It could be a freaking parade. They could have, Gen Con. What they might do is re-release the Player's Handbook, DM's Guide, and Monster Manual in a nice slipcase box that says 50th anniversary, and make it.
Oh, that's sweet.
What is 50th? Gold?
But here's one problem with that, Skeet. They've already said that the books are going to be staggered.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God! You think they know what they're doing?
No,
Eric, you sweet beast!
No.
That is
Listen,
lovely.
Listen. And the reason why I bring that up is because they say they're going to be staggered because we're printing so many. Our printers can't handle more than that. We got to stagger them. I personally think they need to judge the market because the player's handbook is really the only thing you're going to need to play D&D 5.1, whatever they could have, whatever it is.
Not 6.0, yeah.
Right. The classes are the system's not changing. Just the classes aren't part of the system.
You know what would be funny as shit?
What?
If all of the players' handbooks were like Kindle Paperwhite with the player's handbook printed on a cover on the front and back. So you flip it open, it's all digital, it's all a PDF.
It would be cheaper because those Kindles are pretty cheap now.
No shit.
And then you don't have to give you any more. You can just put just pay. Normally you pay $60 a book, but if you get it on your Kindle, we'll only charge you $49.
Yep. And you can USB it into your computer and link directly to your D&D Beyond account, where you can also purchase the digital copy of any future books. I should be working for those motherfuckers. That's a decent plan.
Yeah, the Kindle, actually, I never even, but doing something like the Kindle, actually, you know what? It's Wizards of the Coast, though, so you know what they'd have to do, right? They'd have to design their own proprietary e-reader that was only for 5e, only for D&D, only for D&D Beyond, their own proprietary reader. It would cost you $200. They wouldn't. There's no way.
As sad as it is, still spending $200 for something like that.
I know.
That's the core books. Yeah. So okay, and now I have a Kindle too.
So, I mean, I think what you're going to have happen here is you're going to have a definite schism. Go back.
That is fantastic.
That is. Thank you, Gunn. That's a good one.
Man, that's great.
A good one. No, I think you're going to have a schism. I'm interested though. I think this is going to be a very interesting year coming up, and I think it starts this year's Gen Con. I want to see what happens. This is the first year they're going to have a big presence in quite a while, but. Hilarity and Pinkerton Coots beat up Kindle boys. You guys are on the mark tonight. You guys are kicking ass tonight.
That's fantastic.
But no, I'm interested because if this, I don't know what they want to happen, but I don't think a schism is what they want to happen, but I think that's what's going to happen because I think there's plenty of people out there that
created that.
Well, they did. They've already put the spike in there, and they're just waiting to just tear it open because there's plenty of 5e people that are happy with 5e that are happy the way it is now.
Since we're the old codgers of our era of gaming, let's go through what happened when first edition transferred into second edition. Doom, gloom, the sky is falling.
Not as much though, because you didn't have social media.
Right.
Where was you doing? Right. You had Dragon Magazine, which was going, hoorah! We're giving up Gygax. We didn't even know that part. We're moving on to second edition. We're cleaning stuff up. It's going to be new, improved, better.
And then third edition.
Third edition.
Well, now that's where you first. So the internet was around for third edition. That's when you first started hearing people bitching. Like, wait a second, you could play first and second edition together. Third edition is a totally different animal here. I cannot I can't do it. The edition. That's when you first started hearing the bitch. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then 3.5 was the market's going to die for third-party publishers. You motherfucker.
I just bought all the books. I got to buy them again 3 years later. What the, and so that was that.
And then Pathfinder.
And 4E, why we do it
4E and the murder-suicide that damn that fucking system to shit.
And then 5th edition.
Well, no, 5th edition had everybody getting all excited. People were like,
they did a lot of things. Well, they did a lot of things because for those who don't remember, the year before 5th edition was kind of one of those kind of like we're going through right now when nobody really knew what was going to happen. They put out the beautiful hardback reprints of the S series. the hardback reprints of the A series, the beautiful gold rulebook reprints. They made overtures to the older fan and said, "Look, we're sorry. Yeah, fourth edition suck balls. Here's something that," and I understood those sold, people that I know that work there sold very, very well. They sold really well to new people, to old people, to whoever, because they made an effort to say, "Look, we do care about it," because that was one of the big things about everything from 2000 to about 2009 or 10. We don't really care about you old fans. You go play your own games. We don't really care about you. We're not going to support you, and go to hell. And then the OSR came along and said, "We do care about you. Come on in." And they saw that. Some of the people that worked there, Mike Merles, others, and I just thought that was a really good overture for the year in between editions. Now, this year, it's not quite gone that way, because they're not making any overtures to anybody. Their overture is like that. That's what their overture is. We really, really don't care about you now. And, we're going to put out something. It's going to be on VTT, and you can like it and play it or not, and go play with your pen and pencil games, and we don't really give a shit. So,
yeah, the hierarchy making decisions over there, I don't think they're our people. They are from a different industry, is my thought. I don't know.
Well, we do know, and you're right, because that's true. They are from a different industry, and they are going a different direction. The whole VTT, thing is going a different direction, and they're putting a lot of eggs in this basket. So it's going to be very interesting.
Which I don't mind VTT. I think some of them are really cool. If they could get the engine out of Demio and make dungeon maps of that would be freaking fantastic. I would pay lots of money for that. But, and I don't have a regular in-person gaming group. So the only time I really play is either online or at conventions, which is sad for me. I want everyone to pity me. So I like the possibility of the VTTs. I don't love them so far at all.
Well, if a VTT would live up to it reminds me of something like Skyrim. Okay, Skyrim, when it came out 10 years ago, was great. I mean, it's just the best game on the market ever. And here we are 10 years later. What do we have? We have Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition, because they still haven't put out another.
I've never played
Elder Scrolls game. Oh my God, best video game ever made. I mean, it's just no question about it. But they haven't done another one or improved it for 10 years, and so what you have here is it's just like paralysis by indecision type of thing. And I just don't know if VTT is going to be good enough coming out the chute to make people happy, and if it's not, is it going to get any better? Or are they just going to say, it's good enough? Yeah, this is great. We're just going to put this out. And 3 years later, everybody's going, God, the VTT still looks like it was written in 2022. I don't know.
But I mean, it'll catch on. I hope you guys remember when PDFs first started coming out, and 90% of people said, I'm never going to get a PDF. It's not going to catch on. I need paper in my hands, which some people do, and that's fine. But PDFs are everywhere. I like them because on my Kindle that I do actually own, that is not the Player's Handbook, I have all of my rule books on that. So if I need to look something up, it's super easy to find. Not that I really follow the rules in a convention game anyway, but if it comes up, I have it.
Oh, look, it's great to have it's great to have everything. I have my PDF files are immense, gigantic. I mean, everything for Call of Cthulhu. Well, I mean, that's all stolen. It's all stolen too.
Oh boy.
But but I'm just saying, it's great to have that. But I rarely run things off. I usually run I run paper. Now I like to read PDF. I love to read PDFs because you don't have to haul around the book everywhere. But I run off paper because maybe I'm just used to paper. But now we have a whole new generation that's how they run games, and it's made clear by the COVID crisis when everybody was running games online. It's a definite future of the game. I mean, that's something that's not going away, right?
Hey, when I did CyclopsCon for Goodman Games and got to run DCC and MCC games for their online convention. I got to play with people from Europe, and I think I had somebody from Europe, somebody from Australia, and somebody from South Asia somewhere that I now can't remember. But it was so cool. There's no chance outside of a very large convention that I would ever have the opportunity to play with people from different parts of the world like that at the same time. And online you can do that. I'm in a game next week online, and I finally get to play Weird Frontiers.
Nice.
So and if I had to wait until Gamehole to have that opportunity for that game, I would be a more sour, bitter person than I am now. And nobody wants that.
Well, that's why you need to open up your convention. Well, you'll be a Crit Hit next month.
I will be at Crit Hit,
Arizona.
but I'm running games. I'm running
There
Call
you
of
go.
Cthulhu scenarios. I think I'm running 4.
Just signed up
because Jim and Crystal Miller are awesome. They came to North Texas for the first time this year.
That's right. Met them there. Yep.
They are great.
I registered for Long Con this week.
Excellent.
So I'll be there. I'll be at Gamehole Con, but I'm also going to Reaper Con, and I should be at Lone Star Game Expo, which is a local con in August, I believe. So I'm trying to hit as many cons as I can, also because I just like the vibe, man. I like the con vibe. It's fun.
I'm not going to be able to get to Long Con this year. We're doing a house edition. So, but next year,
feel your pain. Yeah.
2024. I'm gonna be there.
We got Greg Gillespie to go this year because it's not hard to get to. You fly into Dallas, you drive 2 hours east, and you're there.
I thought you were suggesting it was not hard to get Greg Gillespie, and I was like, God damn, man.
No, it's not hard to get him. No, but it's not hard to get to Long Con. If
he can come from Canada and get to Long Con, then anybody can get there.
Just fly into DFW and you drive 2 hours east and you're there. And so we had Bill Barsh went last year. Bill's coming again this year. So
you have to drive 2 hours east in Texas. And do you survive the mutant cannibals, or do you just do it during the daylight?
When you hear the music, you just go faster.
Okay. All right.
You're fine. No, you're fine. There's a Buc-ee's on the way too, so you get to go to Buc-ee's, which is awesome. So you got.
I got to go to a Buc-ee's. That's the next thing I got to do.
Go to Buc-ee's.
I finally in North Texas, I finally made it to a Waffle House.
Oh.
It was pretty good.
Why would you brag about that? Don't brag. We don't brag about Waffle House here.
It was pretty good. Hey, we don't have them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, we know how to read and have culture.
Waffle House is a great place to go 3 a.m. if you want to see a fist fight, because there will be a fist fight.
So check this out. I am at the Waffle House with our mutual friends, the Silver Boulets, Ian McGarty and Rocky Gardner, and Dr. Dennis Sester. The 4 of us were having breakfast at Waffle House, and I looked around the place, and I looked at all of my companions right here, and I said, I can absolutely see how some shit goes down here at like 2 a.m. I mean, I can picture it in my head. That used to be my life.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's just that kind of place, and it's entertaining. Yes, very, very entertaining. So.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yes, North Texas RPG Con, come for the games, get all the other experiences too.
Are you going to Gamehole? You're going to Gamehole, right?
Yes.
Yes. No. Maybe.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Going to Gamehole. So Crit Hit is next. That's in third week of July, I think, or second week of July.
Right.
You know, when it's really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Then to Gamehole in October, where it could be 70 or 7.
It'll be nice. I think it'll be nice.
And then after that, not going to a convention, but taking my 2 kids to Hawaii for Christmas and New Year's Day.
Oh, wow. That's special. Yeah, that's really nice.
That's going to be fun. That's for their 18th and 21st birthdays.
Nice.
You looking to adopt?
I am not.
Would you like
an adult
concierge to go along with you? Somebody that could help you along with your.
Yes, I would.
That's not me. That's not me, by the way. No,
okay.
Not me.
Yeah, the most organized man. That's not him.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do that.
No.
Maybe Jen Glazer. Yeah.
So the greatest thing about North Texas is I helped pack up to get stuff to the convention, and at the end I helped load the truck. And I told everyone who would listen to me about the first time I went to North Texas RPG Con as a vendor with Frog God Games.
Mm-hmm.
When we were vending, I had to go to the warehouse with Mike to pick up the 97 boxes of shit that they sent.
Very, very much remember this, yes.
As I'm looking at these 97 boxes of shit that have to be loaded in the truck, Mike looks me dead in the face, says, "Oh, I have a bad back. You're going to have to lift those." And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I've got that plus a bad knee now. I've graduated to bad knee.
And that year, I think it was, just a mild, like 97 degrees.
Probably probably
140% humidity.
You're a big strapping young man. You didn't have any problem
back
with that.
then. I was not, and I've only gotten worse.
Gary will tell you with absolutely no. I mean, we're not going to hide it one bit. Our goal this year was not to pick up and move one box, and I succeeded. Gary, I think you succeeded too. Yeah, we did. Our whole goal was not to pick up and move one box at all. We're not doing that anymore. I'm 60 years old. I don't even know how old Gary is. We're not doing it.
Did you notice that Brian got sick at a convenient time to not have to break down a whole bunch of shit?
Wait, no, I haven't heard this story. Really?
Yeah, he came up and was going to give me a fist bump because he was taking off because he was feeling sick, and I think we were still loading out.
Too bad.
I don't actually know. I think he did a bunch of stuff, but I just want to give him shit.
He didn't want to give me a hug, a bro hug. I didn't want. I'm sick. I went. It's a con. If I haven't been exposed already, come on.
No, it was. You know what? I'll tell you what. That one, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now because it's already been 2 weeks. We didn't have any sickness, no COVID, no con creds, no flus. We did pretty good this year. So thank you everybody for washing your hands and using the disinfectant and all that good stuff. Because
okay, the last story I have to bring up is about the midnight auction and Satine and Jameson showing up. I thought that was an amazing thing for them to do and tell their story. It was absolutely wonderful.
Not a dry eye in the house. I'm not.
That is something that I will cherish and remember forever.
I want you to know that was completely unsolicited on my or Gary's part. That was offered to us, and we gladly accepted because we thought, this is
I heard quite a bit about the story after the fact, and yes, I can believe that is going to have to be an ongoing segment.
I don't know about that. I'm not going to make anybody.
How do you close the book on that? I mean, that was so good.
Quickly.
Well, they need to make a comeback. They have to make a comeback. Yeah. Come on.
And Mr. Tenkar,
they're going to make. By the way,
your acting chops.
I have none.
At midnight were absolutely perfect. You made a very believable peace officer with a disgusting miscreant.
Now, hold on. Pinkertons are not technically peace officers. They're
No,
a
but
private firm.
I gave Lloyd a good stop and frisk.
You gave him a way too thorough pat down. You and my brother both.
Certainly,
Lloyd left that very happy. I'm sure he left that skit very happy after you and Robert worked him over. And I do say work over too. It was a job. That was disgusting. Even Satan thought that was disgusting.
That was I got to hear some behind the scenes scuttlebutt from Northwest Jen, the Devilette, about how all of that stuff went together, and it was quite interesting.
About how long and hard we practice all those skits to get them to be perfectly.
All of the all of the just crack teamwork and the just dedication
amazing.
was almost too much for me.
How much all the effort put in there and the time and just the professionalism, it blows me away every year, Skeeter.
I am absolutely amazed at the costuming budget because that was a Vegas level show.
The crab, look, I'm going to tell you right now, Kurt brings his own crab costume. Okay, so that's not in our budget, obviously not in our budget. But it's a secondhand Frog Games crab outfit. So third hand. That's right. It belonged to Eric for a while too, and then it finally belonged to Kurt. So who knows who'll own it next? But we rely on the kindness of strangers to help us out with the costume budget. Hey, you saw Satan's new cape and sunglasses. Come on.
Very fancy. Very fancy.
That was like a major upgrade.
We had plenty of time to talk about the Devilette's new costumes. At Shea Verde here before that went through, and I hope everybody enjoyed.
I think everybody did. Everybody that could did. But
I had a little extra heart stress.
They did. Those were some. Okay, here's the funniest part, Skeeter, and this is the best part. So the costumes this year were incredible, incredibly revealing, but incredible. Have you seen what Jen, your wife, is looking at for next year?
I did.
Because she's got the bug. Now she's got the costume bug. Well, and so she showed me two, and I said, "Why don't you show those to Skeeter?"
Yeah,
we'll see what Skeeter says.
So I have zero to say on the subject.
Okay.
You think I have any authority here? You are mistaken. But I do have to say, that's a 50-year-old woman putting that stuff on, and she's looking fan-fucking-tastic.
I'm telling you, that I
don't like to be all guy-y about my wife and her business, but she's an adult, and damn, I did great.
I'm going to admit that Satan this year might have thrown out during conversations that he might be looking younger at that position because the two Devilettes were, they're aging gracefully. But when I saw the costumes,
you're going to get murdered for saying that.
When I saw the costumes, I said, you know what? You guys are trying, and you're trying hard, and for another year. Your contract's renewed for another year. I was so proud of them because you know what? They went to the trouble to make Satan happy, and that makes.
I think it's adorable. You think you have any control over either one of them at any point?
Zero. No, I wasn't asked my opinion one bit on that. It was just matter of fact, it was like, oh, by the way, we got you a new cape. Oh, okay, and some glasses. Oh, all right.
Yeah, because your cape smelled like cheese. It was awful. And bad decisions.
It smelled like whiskey and God knows what else.
German whiskey?
No.
Oh, please. Come on.
I just gagged.
Dude, have you told your fans that story?
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
you can
watch this show.
Watch the German whiskey tasting.
Just tune in for me drinking pickle juice. That's really all you need.
Awful.
Sean said Michelle will have to up her game next year. Look, if Shell wants to, Look, whoever wants to dress up can dress up as long as you're, a hot broad. I mean, I'm all for it.
Okay,
Is that politically
so
correct? I can say that, right? I can say
so
that.
Mike, as a representative of North Texas RPG Con, are you suggesting that you want to expand the cosplay portion of the convention?
Only a certain part of the cosplay
and be more like we'll call it Gen Con. Is that what you're looking for?
Only a small segment, just a small segment.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works. Because somebody like, I don't know, your brother is gonna prance around like a brony in his banana hammock.
And I want you to know,
not something. To be confused with Alan Hammock.
I want you to know that Gary and I have no control over that. And he's told us that. He flat out has told us that I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And we're just staring at him like,
I'm
what?
Stunned.
He has been, yes, he is, he's taken over that one little segment. He is guarding, that's his one claim to fame. And now he guards it with his life.
That is not his one claim to fame. His other claim to fame is the world's longest report of a gladiator game.
Oh my God. I told him, we've got to change that. Which one was it, the gladiator or the other one was the chariot that went on forever?
Oh no!
I think it was the gladiator that went on forever.
I fell asleep.
They were both painful.
I said he needs to get into a paragraph. He can do it, and he can do it funny, and it can be great. One paragraph is all we need.
I don't need a color commentary of the entire UFC fight. I just need to know who won.
We don't need a blow-by-blow of every battle and every sledgehammer and every maul and every broken finger and every. Oh no, it doesn't need to be done. No.
Hey man, that's your family. We blame you directly.
Is it really? I mean, I don't know where he came from. I really don't know where he came from. He was just there one day.
He just showed up.
There was a little baby there.
Yeah.
True story. When we were little, I told my mom when he came, I said, I got jealous. I kept telling her, you need to put that kid down or put that baby down. And one day she did something and she came back and I put Robert in the trash can. So.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
I mean, he was like it wasn't like he was going to miss him. I mean, he's like this big, So,
man.
Put him in the trash can, I was tired. I was tired of him at 1 year old. I was tired of him. Okay. And he's, oh my God, it's been 50 something years. And so it hasn't got any better. Oh, is Satan still doing her Satine's quest thing?
Yeah, I think she is. She's on her forgiveness tour too.
I saw that, and she's doing these pictures, and but Jameson's not there. It's just
Jameson is not there, and it's all healing. And I have grown, and I take this in, and I don't know, make it a diamond. I honestly don't know, and I'm not shitting on her. If she actually did learn something, awesome for her. Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Well, you know what? We'll see what happens at the next ScaryCon. They have maybe she'll get married to somebody else, or they'll have a divorce, or they'll have another ceremony. I mean, a renewal of vows, a vow renewal. I mean, come on,
what would it be? Not a rebirthing, a re-imaging.
No, let's do a rebirthing. Now that would be great.
Yeah.
Satine's rebirthing. Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Idea for next year's midnight auction. Satine's
boy.
Thank you so much for that, Skeeter. Oh my God.
It could be a renewal of the accusations against her.
Call Mark Greenberg next week.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
was amazing.
Yeah, we had fun. I just get I get worried, Skeeter. I don't know if we can top every year of the next year. We always manage to. I don't know how. There's got to be a top, right? We've got to hit it someday. We're like, okay, it can't get better than this.
So, are you suggesting now you're a power bottom? Is that what you're saying?
I'm the most power. Oh, Eric is what. Eric's like, okay,
that might be the that's all, folks.
Yeah. Oh, we did get we got demonetized a while back, but
no, we already did. I already checked. Yeah, I think that we are. What's the phrase they use? Limited. We are limited.
Sorry for limiting your show here, guys.
My bad.
That's all right. That's all right.
I would like to say I'll learn from my mistakes like somebody famous just did, but I won't. And we all know it.
We love you just the way you are. You're our Skeeter.
All right, so Skeeter has a Kickstarter up. Let's pop that up for a second. And
it's on.
Remind everybody.
The link's on the bottom of the screen.
The link's on the bottom of the screen. Underland, not underwear, not under bottom. That's under land.
Whoa.
Underland. Check it out. It's awesome.
Thank
Skeeter,
you.
What can you say?
I miss you guys already after North Texas.
I know. That's why we gotta bring your. We're not gonna say your better half. We gotta bring your other half, Zach, on with you, and we can do like the goddamn reunion.
I think, gentleman, Zach Glazer is my better half. I think when I am with Zach, I am definitely the absolute bottom of the bell curve.
Oh my!
You have my sympathies, sir. You have my sympathies. I'll just say that. And I like Zach an awful lot.
Well, he's not standing behind you with a knife.
No, that would be Jen.
Somebody said something nice about you, and I'm worried about them now. I'm worried about Hob. Gary has to say that. It's contractually obligated to say he misses you because you're a special guest, so he has to say that. He was just asking me the other day. He's like, "Does Skeeter have to be a special guest again next year?" I'm like, "We'll see."
No. Actually, I don't have to be a special guest because I'm gonna act the exact same way as I do, no matter what. So that's up to you guys.
Skeeter stars as Satine.
Yeah, Mike.
Just making notes.
You explain that to my wife. I know who the bosses are.
Yeah, that's right. Don't make the Devilettes angry. We know how that works exactly.
No, God, no.
Never.
They have power.
All joking aside, they make that auction run so dang smooth. I mean, seriously, if Gary and I just sit back and let them do their job, we don't even tell them to do anything now. They just do it, and they know exactly what to do and where to go and how to do it. We're just like, yeah, we'll just show up. And Devilettes will do everything. So
okay,
it's awesome.
I want you to conceptualize this for just a minute. Those two gens have to handle me and Zach all the time, dealing with you guys for an evening. Piece of cake.
Vacation time. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's like sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. They did a great job. No, they're underappreciated by some, but not us. Definitely not us.
And as politically incorrect as it is to say, the North Texas serving wenches again did an amazing job with hospitality.
Oh yeah,
they were fantastic.
Very good that we were up to. We did 4 this year. We needed all 4, and the serving girls were absolutely awesome. The only one I did not personally meet and talk to was Becky, but I talked to Sierra and Summer, and just amazing. And the thing is, the reason they're so good is they're professionals. They're professional promotion girls, and they know what they're doing. And I just can't believe other cons don't pick up and do this because it's the best idea ever.
They are very kind, amazing. Always, in a good mood.
Yep.
Ask questions about games when they're interested, and they feel comfortable enough that they can, as a new person who doesn't know stuff about the games necessarily, they get involved. It was great.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I didn't even remember, and Jessica reminded me this is her 10th year to do it, and I felt bad that I didn't even think. Wow. I didn't even remember it was that long. But yes, that's her 10th year, and so it's great. It's great we have them. Like I
Jess
said, I
was
don't
one of the original
understand why their cons
Devilettes.
don't do it.
Wasn't she?
She was actually not. Oh yeah, no, she was not. No, I'll give you the whole history of the Devilettes and serving girls one day, but no, she was not. She was not a Devilette.
That'll be the special.
Now Jessica and her friend did appear in Naughty Devil 90s at the second midnight auction because
That might have
Doug
been it.
wanted to embarrass me, and so yes, that did happen. And I did apparently I did turn red and stumble and not was able to speak.
You were dressed as Satan and you were shit-faced. It had nothing to do with that.
No, they actually appeared in 90s. This was not
I
a
was
costume.
There.
It was ridiculous. There. Yes. Doug did this to embarrass me and it worked. So that was fun. Yeah. Anyway, they're all coming back next year, so that's great. So I'm sorry, we've gone over time, but it's Skeeter. What can you say?
I know. I
have no concept of time.
It's Skeeter.
It's Skeeter. You gotta go. You take the Skeeter that you get, and you take it for as long as you can.
Oh boy,
I could go further, but it'll just sound really.
That just all sounds very dirty, and I'm here for it.
It should be taken out of context and made into a ringtone. That's what should happen.
Geez. Yeah, if I had any skills, I would do that.
Huge thank you to Skeeter. Honestly, a lot of fun as always.
Love you guys.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing out the best of us.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Well, you bring out something of us, and maybe it's just self-defense, but I mean, we have a great time. We have a great time with you all the time.
Always.
Mike, thank you for being my 1-2 week work spouse again.
I'm here. I was here for you.
I know.
Hopefully we'll have a guest next week. I don't have anybody signed up for the. We will. By the way, Joe Block will be here July 12th, so that's something to look forward to in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
He'll have a Kickstarter going, but I will fill in the blanks the next 2 weeks. We'll find some poor schmuck that
you should bring on Rocky Gardner and talk Mega Dungeons.
Rocky, that guy. Did we just had Rocky and Ian on 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we had them on recently.
He needs to be a solo special guest. That's what I'm.
I thought they were. I think they were together always.
They are conjoined, but sometimes Ian sleeps.
Oh, all right. Well, keep that in mind.
Rocky can just put a blanket over him like a bird. And he's just right out like a baby.
They're married to different women. How does that work? Ooh.
I have a video that explains
everything. I know. I'm afraid to even see the video. You're scaring me, so you're scaring me.
Nice.
Tankars-Tavern.games/Underland. Go to Skeeter's Kickstarter. Get in with the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
That way you don't have an excuse in later issues. You're like, I came in the beginning. I'm the cool kid. I'm there already. And we joke about it, but listen, we bring Skeeter on and other guests on because we enjoy their company. Nobody pays us for this shit. Hell, hardly any of you ever pay us for this shit. So, and those that do, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But we do it because we enjoy our guests and we enjoy hanging out with you all. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll this dice. Roll them well. If you're on the Discord tomorrow at 9:00 Eastern, we have the Discord hangout. And Friday, Glenn Hallstrom and myself, I do believe.
Oh.
And then, of course, Saturday at 8 p.m., we'll have the usual Gamer's Health. All right, folks. Catch you later.
Later.